Hi YouTube. I decided to show you our curriculum that we are using for the 2015 through 2016 school year. Right now is November 2015, and this is my 5th graders curriculum. So every day we do Bible and we do math, and in spelling, one lesson takes 3 or 4 days to do. So we do spelling pretty much every day also. But the rest of the subjects like language arts, health and science, and then history, those are on a loop schedule. Sorry. Anyway, so for our Bible, they do a devotion, just a short little one-page devotion, and then they write what they feel like God is telling them or what they learned about the devotion. We have timeline figures we use for Bible, we use for history, for science. Anytime we come across something new, we see if there's a timeline figure in it, and it goes in our timeline notebook. Our actual Bible curriculum, we use the Bible of course, but our actual Bible curriculum is Route 66, a trip through the 66 books of the Bible. It is geared for grades 2 through 5, which works perfectly because I have 2 children, a 2nd grader and a 5th grader. But we try to do about 1 book of the Bible a week. And so like each book, it gives some information about it, stories to read, some warm-up questions, things to do. And then each book has about 3 pages of activities to do. And then it starts a new book. And then we also, to go with that, we also do what the Bible is all about for young explorers. And in it, I'm trying to do this a quick video, but like it'll have a few pages devoted to each book of the Bible. Like this one, 2 Kings, it tells that it's a book of the history. It has some cartoon drawings, like from chapters 1 all the way through the last chapter in each book. It kind of summarizes it. Has some pictures, some drawings. Let's see where we are here. It has discoveries from the past and how things in that particular book lead to God. It's really neat. I actually got these. Well, actually, this whole Bible stuff I'm showing you I got from on referral from a homeschool friend of mine. And we also have the Essential Bible Companion. Each, like 2-page spread here, covers a book in the Bible with information and like why that book is important, what its purpose is, maps, and these are just really neat. And then this Window on the World, each page, like this one here, these 2 pages, are over Ethiopia. And then these 2, you have Fiji. Just, each 2 pages for something different. Then there's also world religions in here too, like the religion of Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism. Let's see. Judaism, Christianity. But that is our Bible stuff, and my 5th grader, my 2nd grader, and myself, we do those together. Not every single day will we go through every single one of those books, but we will read a chapter from the Bible for whatever book we are reading on and then answer the questions. It only takes about 30 minutes. The next subject that my 5th grader does second every day is math. We use Singapore, the U.S. edition, and this is the Home Instructor's Guide. And the textbook. And then the workbook. They don't write in the textbook, but they can write in the workbook. And then if they need extra practice, there's an intensive practice book. And then there's spelling, which this is the teacher's book. It's Rod and Staff. She's doing grade 6 spelling, but this is what the teacher's book looks like. They have a picture of what the students look like, test questions, well, test sentences, I'm sorry, and then the answers to Part A, Part B, and Part C. So, and Rod and Staff is the only spelling that we've ever used. I did try Becca one time, but I just didn't think it was as good as Rod and Staff. So, the next subject, which like I said is on loop, is language arts. For language arts, we have grammar, writing, literature study, typing, vocabulary. I'm sure there's others in there. I don't know if I said grammar or not. But this is our first year doing literature study. And this is one we have already done this year. We just finished it a few weeks ago. The Missing Link Found. This is a book. And then this was the study guide to go with it. The literature study we're working on right now is Little House in the Big Woods, which we have read the whole series, all the ones that Laura Ingalls had written. We've read all of those. We've read this book probably 3 times, but we're reading it again because we've never actually done a study on it. So these are just some books, you know, just activities and just little study guides and things to use to help go over the study. So far we're liking it. And then we have some poems for memorization that they do. They work on one poem until they have it memorized, and they start another one. We also got that from Rod and Staff. And then she has some vocabulary word puzzles. This is just something that she just kind of does on her own whenever she wants, really. We have a Rod and Staff English handbook. She has learned sentence diagramming and parts of speech and everything for the past few years. I feel like she knows it very well, so I didn't want to do a actual formal, English 5 curriculum all over again and relearn it all again, because it just wasn't necessary. So we got this handbook to help, in case she does need a refresher, to review something. Then we can just go here, and it gives a bunch of examples and stuff. It's really good. And she loves Mad Lib. Who doesn't, right? And then for writing, she is doing, I bought this PDF form and I printed it out. It's not complete. I haven't printed out everything. I just print out like one lesson at a time. This is Creative Writing Made Easy by New Millennium Girls. And there are 12 lessons. And each lesson deals with a certain part of process of writing, like developing a character, developing themes and story ideas, a plot, a setting, and then actually, writing a book. And so she's been doing this, and she really likes it. Our science and our health. Our health, we haven't started this yet, but we will, when it's later on in the year, we will do this book, The Wonderful Ways Babies Are Made. So that'll be part of our health program. Our other health that we'll be doing from time to time is, where's that? kidshealth.org. We'll be doing that. Our science, we spent several weeks at the beginning of the school year doing a dinosaur unit study. And we read a dozen books, watched movies and videos, went to a creation museum, did lapbooking, notebooking, crafts, all kinds of stuff over the study of dinosaurs. And we learned so much. So that was our first science kickoff. And now we have moved on to botany in 8 lessons. This should only take us 8 weeks, but we just started it about 2 weeks ago. This is geared for ages 8 through 14, and it's Ellen McHenry, her basement workshop. And each lesson, it just kind of builds on the previous lesson. Study of plants and everything. There's answer keys, there's activities. This is a board game. Spinner. There's some lap booking ideas in here. And there's also some consumable pages in the back if you need some extra to print off. Once we are done with that, we will move on to the elements, the ingredients of the universe. It's for ages 8 through 13, and it's also by Ellen Johnston McHenry from the Basement Workshop. And it's basically the same setup. First chapter here. What is an element? The way I understand it, a lot of it's going to be taught in the kitchen. And so it just seems really neat. It was recommended by another homeschool friend of mine. There are answers, and there's the teacher's stuff in the back. Let's see. I have my notebook over here. I'm looking to see if I've missed anything. Whenever we are done with the elements of the universe, we plan on doing the human body detectives. And I also forgot to mention that for their Bible, they also work on scripture memorization. We try to work on one verse to memorize a week. And they are also active in church and active in their church youth group as well. Also, for language, they read every single day. Sometimes I literally have to pry the books out of their hands to get them to do something else because they just love to read. Also, they practice typing at typing.com. When we are done with the the Little House in the Big Woods literature study, we're going to move on to a literature study over The Courage of Sarah Noble. Also, for grammar review, they also do EnglishGrammar101.com to help review it. And, okay, now I think that's all. I can move on to history. Okay. So, what we did, the very first thing for history this year is we spent a few weeks and studied the Titanic. And we are done with that, so now we have moved on to Mapping the World with Art. It's by Ellen Johnston McHenry, also from Ellen McHenry's Basement Workshop. I really like this curriculum. It's short and simple, very informative. Like the very first lesson is on the very earliest maps. And there's some pictures, information, and each lesson is front and back. You can see here's lesson 2. So, the very first lesson was over maps, and it also talked about Mesopotamia. So the first lesson had you draw the area Mesopotamia, which Mesopotamia is modern-day Iraq. So, this is what your final drawing looked like for lesson 1. And as you can see, the next lesson is in the Nile River, and then Greece. And then the Roman boot. And then there are activities to go with each lesson. So lesson 1 was over maps, and you had to label Babylon, old-time Babylon, around Mesopotamia. So then the first activity option would be to make an edible Babylonian clay map. If you don't want to do that, then they give a couple other options. You can make a Polynesian map. And anyway, it's just really neat. And by the end of the curriculum, this is there are 30 lessons, so if you do a lesson a week, then that's pretty much whole school year, 30 weeks. So by the end of the curriculum, they will have made their own map that they have drawn. And here are some examples that some other students have done. I hope you the video is clear enough for you to see. Now, in addition to that, we are using Abeka's Old World History and Geography. This is for 5th grade. But we are using this just as a supplement because I really, really wanted to do this. But Abeka is just, in my opinion, great history curriculum. I did not want to not use this at all. So, the first chapter talks about Mesopotamia. And since our first lesson was on Mesopotamia, then we read in this first chapter here about Mesopotamia and, linked the two. And that's what I'm going to use this for. Let's see. Looking over here at my notebook, seeing if I forgot anything. Oh, also, we from time to time we use Easy Peasy. It's like a complete all-in-one curriculum. You can find it at allinonehomeschool.com. It's all spelled out. We don't do that very often at all, but just from time to time, something different. For math, I told you that we did the Singapore, but they also have an assortment of workbooks, little fun workbooks, and critical thinking booklets to do when they want. We haven't really done any of them yet this year, but they do have those that they can work on. But I think that is all. I don't remember if I mentioned that this school year is 2015 through 2016, and right now is November of 2015, and this is my 5th graders' schoolwork.